Okay, now let's talk about buying installs for your apps. Okay, let's say you do want to do some paid advertising for your app. By the way, you should exhaust all your kind of free methods first. If you get an app set up, you get an app in the App Store, promote it on social media. If you have an email list, email your email list, coordinate those things. And it's best to do it all on the same day or all at the same kind of time. Even give away incentives or contests or anything for people that install your app. Put like an Easter egg in the app somewhere where there's like a one page that has like a secret code or something, and you run a contest where you can tell, your current audience, your current customer group, hey, I'm running a little contest. If you go and download my app and you go to this certain area, you'll find a secret keyword phrase. If you then take that phrase and you go to this special page on my site and you submit that, that secret code, you'll be automatically added to in a contest draw for a new iPad or whatever. Like, you can do creative things like that would drive people to install the app, and then gets them to open it and check it out. So the thing you have to know about installs, and it goes along with the App Store, is that when you get a boost, or I should say a burst of downloads all at the same time, it can help you chart. Now, there are certainly the charts, like the top 50 apps for free, the top 50 free apps, top 50 paid apps, top highest grossing apps, the ones that, make the most money even if they're a free app with in-app purchases. Now, those charts are very hard to get onto. The average marketing company or developer of apps, they spend probably, I forget what it's up to. It's about $50,000 in advertising and installs just to get into the top 100 charts on the iPhone App Store. So it takes a lot of money to get an app into the charts, and it could be even more money than that now as it changes all the time. But that's a tough one. However, you can chart on the category charts. So if you have an app in the health and fitness market, it doesn't take you anywhere near the number of downloads that it takes you to chart on the main charts. So even if you get like a couple thousand downloads, you could start charting very well in your category like health and fitness. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to coordinate like a release for your app, run a contest, email your list, post on social media, coordinate it all at the same time frame or over a few days to hopefully try to get your app to chart. But if you're going to buy installs, you definitely want to coordinate it all at the same time with other methods to try to get your app to chart. Because if you chart, you'll get a bunch of bonus organic downloads. And if you hit it just right, you can get hundreds of thousands of downloads if you have an app that goes gangbusters and climbs the charts. You just never know. But in order to do that, you need to coordinate any money that you spend on advertising with all your efforts to do one big campaign. Now, you have to know, though, an install doesn't mean an engaged user. You may pay for an install on, let's say, like buying Facebook ads to drive installs, but it doesn't mean that they actually open the app. Someone clicks to install it, and Facebook tracks it, close enough, and they charge you for it. Doesn't mean that they're ever going to come back to the app or use the app very often or anything else. It just means they click to install it, and that's it. So, some of these app networks, they can tell if they opened it and stuff, but even if they opened it, doesn't mean they're going to do anything with it. Doesn't mean they'll come back. So again, an install itself isn't all that valuable. It will only be a percentage of those installs that become potential leads and customers. So like I was saying, you want to coordinate a charting campaign if you're going to spend any money at all to advertise your app. Do it all at the same time so you can try to get yourself onto the charts. But I also recommend you do it by targeting a smaller country market than the USA, at least for starters. Target Canada or New Zealand, United Kingdom. Try a smaller area that doesn't have as many iPhone users, because the number of downloads you need to get on those charts, even the category charts, are much, much less than you do on the USA chart. The USA chart is the most competitive. It's the busiest. And that's where, these companies are spending millions of dollars driving installs. So target a non-USA market. You'll be able to get the installs cheaper also because they're less in demand, and you'll need less installs or downloads to get your app charting. So Facebook ads, they have an app install option. You'll notice when you go to advertise with Facebook, there's You can buy app installs. Google AdWords now has an app install campaign option. Twitter ads in their new platform has an app install option. So it's everywhere. They're really wanting to, you know what? They're trying to cash in on those big game companies that are spending hundreds of millions of dollars. They like literally they woke up one day and they said, hey, these companies are spending so much money. There's billions at stake. We got to have a specific feature and function for them to be able to track and buy installs and track the downloads, and us to charge them by each download in order to get them to spend a ton of money with us to do so. And so that's really who they're catering to. The smaller apps, the smaller guys and girls that, have little, mobile app businesses they're trying to run or whatever else, they're going to buy installs, and I guarantee you they're probably not going to make any money. They're not going to turn a profit. It's very, very difficult. But you'll notice these giant ad networks now all have these app install options, and that's why. Don't let it fool you that it's some great deal that you definitely need to be spending your money on, because as I've explained, it's not. The ROI just really isn't there. But you can buy installs on any of those networks. Here are some other ones. I'll link to some of the resources section. You've got Tapjoy, Chartboost, Minimob, InMobi, AppLovin, AppNext, LeadBolt, AdCash, StartApp, and there's tons of other ones. So if you did want to buy apps for your, if you did want to buy installs for your mobile app, there are a lot of places that will take your money. There are a lot of places that you can buy those installs from, and they'll drive a lot of installs. But once again, and I hate to keep saying it and being so negative about it, I just don't recommend that you spend your money on app installs. I just don't think you're going to get the return for it. If you want to spend a couple $100, just as an example, for testing purposes, to see the interaction of your app, see how people may rate it, see how they may respond, see what percentage will opt in inside the app, see how many may end up buying something from you if they go to your web-based sales page, then it might be worth testing a little bit. And then it may give you the resources or at least the decision to spend the resources on creating a bunch of apps that you'll then try to get ranked to get the free downloads, not of course to buy anymore. And so maybe you'll buy installs to validate a model of an app for your business. And that's okay. It's like sacrificing early profits. You'll do in the beginning knowing you're not going to turn a profit, but you're just doing it to get the data and then being able to make smart decisions based on the data. So that's an exception. If you want to buy the installs rather than wait, getting them organically just to validate your model of your app to see if you want to go create 50 different apps just like it, hitting slightly different areas of your market, well, to see if it will, create any kind of value and monetize, well, then do it. But aside from that, I just really don't recommend, that you buy advertising unless you have this rare mobile app that monetizes users into money. Which 90-something% of them don't. But who knows? Maybe you'll have an app idea that actually works. Well, if you do, like I said, there's plenty of these networks that'll gladly take your money for driving installs of your app.